moving on, we're going to talk about the Milwaukee Brewers. We're probably going to spend a little bit more time on the Brewers because it may not come as a surprise to anyone. The Brewers were one of my 3 favorite drafts in 2025. And there's much to talk about. First round, pick 20, they took Tennessee corner infield bat Andrew Fisher. They followed that up with a compensation pick that they used on Brady Ebel out of Corona High School. They took Vanderbilt lefty J.D. Thompson in the second round. New Jersey prepster Frank Chiron in Comp B. They took Jacob Morrison, super tall starter from Coastal in the third. Josh Flores, an Indiana right-handed high school pitcher in the fourth. Sean Episcope out of Princeton in the fifth. Daniel Dickinson, who was ranked like 80 on the consensus board, all the way at 185th in the sixth. So before we deal with the end and the middle and end part of their draft, let's talk about the top. Andrew Fisher to the Brewers, I feel like is the one thing that you and I have been talking about for months that really came to pass. Like, does that surprise? It seems like a perfect fit to me. And yet some Brewers fans, like Spencer, was not super excited about that. I think it's a great fit. I think he's a lock to be a productive major league hitter. What do you make of the Fisher fit at 20?
Yeah, I mean, it's the fit that we all expected, but it's not that super exciting profile, right?
Sure.
Um,
What is not exciting about it though? Is it the lack of defense? Like, is the lack of supplementary tools?
Yeah, well, I think when you've gone to the same well and taking a third base type over and over and over and over and over again, and now you take a third base type who's probably going to be a first baseman, right? You think about the Brewers drafts of the last handful of years, and it's like they take Cooper Pratt, and you're like, oh my God, how are they going to do that? Yeah. Right? You take a 102-mile-an-hour guy from the JC that takes 5 games to be an all-star. Like, there's some very exciting things that they've done. Plus,
but getting your Fisher is how you get those guys.
Right. But that's the thing. Like, the first pick in those drafts have not been super exciting picks, right? And so the difference from me and for you in this draft was that they didn't go back to that prep well like they had in the past. Chiron was not even someone that was even on your board.
Oh, dude, Chiron was like top 110 on my board for sure.
Okay, so yeah. a little bit lower in pick 68.
105, excuse me.
Okay, so they took Ebel, they took him, Flores, and then they kind of stayed away from the prep ranks. They did get back to it with Cooper Underwood.
They did get back to and Vacinovich out of Bloomington West, which is exciting.
8. So they did some things that were very like typical Brewer things.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the sure things are in this draft, right?
Sure. So I think Fisher is a sure thing. I like Fisher. Here's my take on Fisher. I'm pulling up his report. I don't know why I didn't have it open. I like Fisher more than I liked Wilkin, and I like Fisher more than I like Blake Burke. And Brewers Twitter is in love with Blake Burke, so no one is going to agree with that, and that's fine. But just Fisher's metrics are just off the chain. He walked 21% of the time. Like, everything is hit hard in the air. He's absolutely masterful at it. So I personally think Fisher is a sure thing. Let me get back to the tracker here. I do want to talk about Chiron too, and I just a quick point on him. So he was a Coastal commit. Spencer pointed this out on the live stream that they had to be sure about his signability, and all the indications are he's going to sign, because they would lose that pick,
right,
and not get a compensation for that because that was already compensation for Chris Lavonis. So funny that they took another New Jersey prep arm there, but I think Chiron's ranking is faded a bit just because he's a cold weather arm.
Okay, but stop, because Lavonis was the same thing and way more highly regarded.
Yeah, but okay, that's fine. But for every Livonis and every who's the other guy they took out of
Message?
Bryce Message, thank you. He has like a bunch of cousins coming up. For every Livonis and for every Message, who did I talk about as a prep catching prospect? I would like the Twins to be interested in Michael Oliveto. Where did he go? 36 to the Tigers, and he's ranked 110. And so I think there's some recency bias there in saying, okay, but like you can be a cold weather arm or a cold weather prep prospect and still be famous and still be ranked highly on boards. That's true. But there are also examples that are underranked or only get pushed up towards the end. Like Miguel Sime is another example who got taken by the Nationals in like the 4th round, who throws like 101. He's out of New York, and he was barely on board on like Pipeline's board and other boards until the end of the cycle. So I do think there's some guys who get a little bit suppressed.